We thank Venerable Lieu Phap for the very insightful Dhamma talk. May I have the first question?
Yes.
Thank you. Venerable mentioned about the levels of perfection. Would like to clarify which Buddhist scriptures explain about the levels, the ordinary, superior, and supreme.
Which
Buddhist scriptures?
Usually in the Nikaya, only the Jataka, the Uttavamsa, and the Apadana mentioned about the paramitas. In the other Nikayas, very rarely.
Thank you. Okay, we shall now take questions from the floor. Sister Yong.
A few questions. Ask the one first. I think I saw in the earlier of the slide, I know you mentioned the Arahant can also become a Buddha.
Arahant is also a Buddha. We call Saccā Buddha.
Can Arahant become Sammasambuddha?
No, because once he has become an Arahant, so he completed the job, the work. So no more thing to do. Yes. So
Can an Arahant or maybe a disciple of the Buddha make the aspiration of taking perfecting the 10 perfection paramitas?
So the aspiration or the vow should be taken before they attain arahantship. So if they already made the determination or the vow to become a Sammasambuddha, then they will not become an arahant. They continue to practice paramita until they can be capable of become a Sammasambuddha.
Can Ariya share with us, especially for the recent era, is there any Theravada monks or nuns who actually make the determination to become, to observe this 10 perfection, become a Sammasambuddha? Is there any recent monks or nuns that you know?
Yes, I know. I know some monks who resolve to be a Sammasambuddha, like Venerable Vamsarakkhita. He is the first patriarch of the Vietnamese Theravada. He is the one who brought Theravada Buddhism from Cambodia to Vietnam in the modern time. He practiced meditation very well, and he practiced all kinds of paramita, and he speak about his vow that he will become a Sammasambuddha. So he's very famous about this vow, and everyone in Vietnam knows about that.
I think earlier the slide also, I think I saw I had mentioned 6 perfection. Is it
6 perfections is in the Mahayana scriptures.
Is I also mentioned Yoniso Manasikara. Is this reflection is also a form of bhavana? Is also a kind of bhavana?
Yoniso Manasikara or Ayoniso Manasikara. You know that Manasikara is a Cetasika that appear in all states of mind, and it may be wholesome or unwholesome. So in our practice, when we practice vipassana, we look at the true characteristic of the phenomena and not only the appearance. So if we look into the characteristic of the impermanence, suffering, and not self, then no more attachment, no more hatred, and that is Yoniso Manasikara.
Meditation practice.
Yes, it is very important factor in vipassana meditation.
Yes, in the sutta, I see a lot of time the Buddha encourages us to reflect on impermanence, oneself is also a form of meditation.
Yes.
Right? In this form of question.
Thank you, Sister Yong. May I have the next question?
Venerable, there are 10 paramis. So are there any specific paramis that are considered foundational for developing the others. So out of the 10,
So out of the 10, the first 3.
the first 3 are the foundation.
The foundation.
Okay, another question is how can practitioners nowadays effectively integrate all these paramis into their daily lives, especially in modern context where distractions are so prevalent? How to overcome, or how to really want to practice it in our modern society?
I think that in daily life, we only change the way of thinking. So all of our meritorious this become parami. Right? Every day you will make offering. Usually you offer with the wish that I will be here, this or that. Now you don't have that wish anymore. I only do this so that I can abandon all kinds of attachment, stinginess, everything. So you see that it is called anasava punya, and you can say sasava punya. 2 kinds of merit. One kind of merit we call wulo. And one is one is wulo, and one the other is yolo. Yes. So yolo merit it is natural. Even we don't wish. If you do the good things, then good results will come. Naturally, it will come. You don't need to wish. But when you aim at that the worldly benefit, it will not become parami anymore. But wulo means that you aim at no more rebirth, no more samsara. Only my aim is enlightenment and liberation, and it becomes parami. So we do everything the same thing we do every day. We meditate, we chant the metta, we chant the sutra, we cook. Even when cooking, even when sweeping the floor, we do everything with the mind with yoniso manasikara, with mindfulness and awareness. That at that time, no desire, no hatred, no illusion. So it becomes a parami. At that time, you have panya parami. You have if the work is very hard, but you try to do it is kanti parami and viriya parami. So we do everything, but we change the attitude, and then all of our activities become parami.
Thank you. Thank you, Samayari. May I have the next question, please? No, thank you. Sister Zoe.
Thank you, Venerable, for your insightful sharing. My question is, Yoniso Manasikara, to us as we practice, it may be conceptual as that. So meaning, so long as it is in any experience, if I keep reminding myself to be wholesome, then can I say that I'm actually in doing the wise reflection, Yoniso Manasikara? This is my question, because sometimes we also want to make sure it's not overthinking, but at the moment, if we need to do something, not creating some consequences, can I say in that action moment considered as wise reflection?
Yes, I think so. You know that your manasikara is compared to the driving wheel. So if you turn right or you turn left, the driving wheel, then the whole car will turn right or turn left. So every occurrence, everything has many aspects, negative aspect and positive aspect. If we focus on the negative aspect, then akusala or anhamsa might easily arise. But we focus on the positive aspect, then our wholesome mind can arise. So you focus on which aspect of the of everything around us. So that is called Yoniso or Ayoniso Manasikara. So you see, for example, I give one example. For example, in the nunnery, sometimes, or in the community, sometimes some people are very difficult. They use very harsh words. They are very jealous. You see, sometimes very uneasy to communicate with them. So if we only focus on their shortcoming, then hatred and uneasiness will arise. But when we think of their own situation, or why they are so short-tempered, or why they are so rude, maybe it becomes they come from a not educated background because of the affection, the effect from the families, from the parents. They are not educated in the good way. That is why they are beautiful. They are not hateful, but beautiful. So we change the way of thinking, then our mind is also changed. That is the reflection, what you said is also the same. That is also called Yoniso Manasikara.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Joey and Sister Henry.
Venerable, I would like to ask a question about when I achieve, let's say, towards the end of last part of my life, that I've been, let's say, know that I'm going towards the end, but then I find my parami is still not perfected, even though I try so hard to work for it. And then one of the parami say that I must not think of rebirth. That it should just end in this life so that you get perfection. But then, however, I know that others is not imperfect. What should I do now? Should I hope to have a next life that so that I can perfect it any further, or should I just think that I should not be perfect? So how?
Good question, but not easy to answer, because usually I think that that is the way people often think that accumulation. If you cannot do it this life, then you have to do it another life. And because we also that the Buddha has spent so many innumerable lives to perfect his parami. But I think that we shouldn't think in that way that about the length of time, but we live every second, every minute, every day, mindfully, in awareness and in effort. So whatever we do it with our own heart and without, and because it is necessary to do, and not for becoming, not getting anything in return. So if you try that way, you see that liberation, sometimes we can say that it is timeless. When we say, innumerable lives, but sometimes we can say it is timeless. Because every moment after the Buddha attained enlightenment, so he still lives a very normal life like us, also getting up and walking for alms, and then coming back and teaching Dhamma. So he is doing what we monks and nuns here are doing. But what is the difference? The difference is there is no more greed, hatred and delusion and all kinds of defilements. And how to do it, how we can do it. So we can do it through these kind of perfections. So with here we have the Panya. Panya means discernment or insight. And insight also is vipassana, seeing things as they are. And when we see things as they are, then we don't have any greed. We can have easily to to give away and to dana, and easy to bear on the unpleasant things, khanti. So I think that the principle of practice is very simple. Either we can do or we do or we don't do at the moment, because life is only at the present moment. So every moment we practice, then at this moment, no greed, no hatred, no illusion. And here at this moment, we are liberated. So we don't think of the time.
Thank you, Sister Helen. Brother?
Hello, it's good to see you. Thank you for the very informative Dhamma sharing. I have a question about Pacceka Buddha. It seems to me, my impression is the Pacceka Buddha aspiration is more rarely talked about among Buddhist practitioners. I'm not sure. People talk about Sarvaka Buddha and Samatha Buddha a bit more. So I'm curious. Number one, I'm curious. I'm not sure whether this might be a speculative question. Number one, I'm curious. What kind of reason would motivate someone to aspire to become a Pacceka Buddha? Like, why would someone want to become a Pacceka Buddha? Number one. And the second part of the question is something like, how does a Pacceka Buddha, I guess, contribute to the history of humanity? Yeah.
Okay. So first, why someone aspire to become only Pacceka Buddha but not a Samma Sambuddha or Sarvaka Buddha? I think that, you see, sometimes if you think of the time you have to spend, it is so difficult, it's so long. And sometimes some people has the tendency of being alone, not to interact with anyone. So it depends on their characteristic, their nature, their tendency that they make an aspiration. Someone would like to stay in the community, but sometimes someone would like to stay in the forest. Not to say, oh, so tiring to interact with people. So I would like to become a Buddha alone and then I pass away. That's enough for me. So that is the reason why they aspire to become a Pacceka Buddha. And the contribution of Pacceka Buddha. So usually the Pacceka Buddha appear in the world where there is no Buddha in the world, or there is no the Dhamma available on the earth. So by themselves they have to try to investigate the truth, and sometimes they know about the dependent origination. They found out the dependence. So that's what Pacceka means. Paccaya, eka, alone, and by contemplating the Paccaya, the Paticcasamuppada, without any teacher, but by themselves they contemplate why I am suffering because of this, and then they trace back to ignorance. And by this way, by themselves, they liberate from ignorance and craving. And if for Pacceka Buddha, they don't have a vow to preach to others, but if someone meets them, they can also learn from them a lot. So they contribute in their capacity and dependent on the occasions, the circumstance. But their value is also very high.
That's insightful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, Brother Nikan. May I have the next question, please? Okay, so I will ask the next question and give the audience more time to think of the next question to ask Venerable. My question is, just now, Venerable said that too much effort will hinder our progress in meditation. How do we know whether we have put in too much effort or too little effort in our practice?
practice.
So some people they make so much effort, you reduce your time of sleeping, you reduce your time of resting, and then you spend so much time for meditation, and you try so hard that you feel tense, you feel stressed. Then you should know that it is too much effort. Too much effort leads to stress, leads to tension, right? So we know by ourselves that it's too much. Then we must reduce and go to balance.
How about when we are in a meditation retreat?
In the meditation retreat, also the same. We should have a proper timetable. You see, if you sit so long, it is not good for your health. So, because you can, sometimes you change the position, walking, standing, sitting, and lying. The 4 positions can apply mindfulness. If we sit so long, it can lead to pain. And I heard that someone after the long retreat, they got a very severe sickness. Sometimes it can cure some kind of sickness, and sometimes it creates more sickness. So it depends. But we need to observe ourselves, and we should decide what is more beneficial and more proper. Or if we don't know, then the meditation master will know and guide us.
Thank you, Venerable, for the words of wisdom. Does anybody have another question?
Venerable, I just want to clarify the part whether I better understand is when I hear about the Kanti Paramis, where you include forgiveness. I'm so surprised to see forgiveness. Does that mean when we lost the tolerance and patience, then we probably will have an ill will of someone or somebody that we dislike? Then we will have to change our mind that to become forgive that person itself, to improve our tolerance of that person. I just want to clarify, is that the way to practice is to just forgive the person, ignorance, or probably it's my own fault to dislike the person, instead of I just to try to increase my tolerance on that person.
When you have the Kanti Parami, you don't need to try. So because you can endure, you can bear.
Yeah,
And
I can do that. Just
that is why you can forgive.
Probably I still have a little bit of, let's say, dislike that person's behavior. I feel that it's very unwise. So I feel not satisfied with this person. So I may have some little bit of ill will of the person, then how? So I should forgive, isn't it? Right?
So if you have the ill will towards that person, first of all, we look at the ill will. There is ill will in me. Only when you look at the ill will, and then you know that why I have ill will, and usually it is because of ayoniso manasikara, and then you change to yoniso manasikara, then your mind will change the way you look at the people. Takes time.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to additional question further on from Sister Hema's question. Would practicing loving kindness help in this situation?
Help what?
To practice loving kindness in the situation that she mentioned.
Yes. That is you mentioned. You remind me because those paramis are interrelated and mutual helping the others. So the metta parami can help the kanti parami, and again kanti parami can also help the metta parami.
Thank you, Venerable. May I have the next question, please?
Thank you. Venerable, what is the difference in the number of paramis? Whether it's the Mahayana, the 6, and Theravada, the 10?
So we cannot say why it happens like that. It happens like that, but I think that some coincide and some implied. One is implied the others. For example, they don't have loving kindness and equanimity, but they have dhyana, jhana. So in jhana include the loving kindness, include include the upekkha, etc. So it is included. That is why they mention all this.
Venerable, how do we strive in a relaxed manner? Because it's important to strive, but it's also important to be balanced and relaxed.
So striving means, the word viriya, sometimes it is equal to appamada. And appamada means only no restlessness. Pamada is restlessness. Appamada is no more restlessness. So sometimes you just keep calm and do not think much more, or do not think about doing more things. You just only coming back to the present moment. Not the mind is not wandering here and there. The mind wandering is called uttacha, or restlessness. And when your mind is not wandering here and there anymore, your mind is at the present moment. That is also one kind of striving. Striving here means to bring the mind back to the present moment. And when we are already at the present moment, you will become very relaxing. No more thinking. Restlessness, because we always think of the past, think about the future, and even think about the present. But now, no more thinking. Only seeing things as they are at the present moment. And then we become very relaxing. So don't think that striving must be try to do this and that. No. Try to be at the present moment is enough.
Thank you for all the interesting questions. Keep it coming. Can I have the next one, please?
Okay, Venerable, the next question is a popular question, I think, commonly asked question. So this is about dana parami and the extremes of giving. So some people have criticized the act of giving away, especially in the Vesantara Jataka, the act of giving away one's wife and children, and some people consider that not a very right or ethical way of giving, especially if it might hurt the wife or children. So some people have discussed that. So I'm wondering what is Venable's take on this question.
So the story of Vesantara's Bodhisattva is very difficult to be accepted in our modern time, because you see, it is different. In the ancient time, the spouse and the children are also the property of a man, right? And the man is the householder, the leader of the family. His will is the will of everyone. His commandment, his order need to be fulfilled, right? And the next, and one more important thing is that in the Jataka, they also said that his wife and his children already made the aspiration together with him to be born again and again, to help him to practice the paramita, to attain enlightenment. That is why they were born together as family members. So without this aspiration, it is very difficult to be born as a husband and wife and father and children. So even the children unwillingly follow his order to follow that Brahmin to go. But even when he gave away his children to the Brahmin, he also told him that if you want to have money, you should not sell these children to anyone. Let's go to the royal court and bring them to the king, then you can get whatever you want. So the Bodhisattva knows what is good for everyone. Even he gave away his children, but his children are safe, and they are and they all together make a vow to help one another. That is the reason, and it is very difficult to be understood in our modern time when democracy that ladies and children they have their own right and no one can sell them or give away. So two culture, different way of behavior. So that is why the criticism is not you can say compatible here.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. Next question, please. Okay. Next question is mine. Venerable, how is equanimity different from indifference?
So indifference is some kinds of negative attitude. You don't care about anything. And it is because of selfishness, lack of consideration, lack of love. That is, we can say that it is a negative emotion and attitude. Why equanimity is a positive attitude? It means that you can keep calm, impartial. You see, remember the word impartial. No prejudice, no bias. We consider the good people and the bad people as equal. Sometimes we like good people and we dislike bad people, and we are proud about that. Oh, I only want to be near the good people. I don't like to be with the bad people. Even the Buddha also advised us not to associate with the fool, but to associate with the wise. It doesn't mean that we hate the fool, right? But because if we are close to them, we may be affected by them negatively. That is why, first of all, when we are not strong enough, we keep away from them. But we don't hate them. Sometimes we can feel pity on them, karuna, right? So hating is different, and liking is also different. For the good people, we respect them, we maybe admire them, but we don't attach to them. So attachment to the good people is also one kind of akusala citta, right? So equanimity means we have the impartial way of behaving with while interacting with people, whether they are good or not. I always remember that you see that usually people always say that when people are good to me, I will be good to them. If they are not good to me, I will won't be good to them. An eye to an eye, right? An eye to an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So you do wrong to me, I will do wrong to you, right? They think that it is the law and it is good. But in Buddhist ethics, if you are good to me, I am good to you. But if you are bad to me, I'm also good to you. Because my nature is good, irrespective of who you are or how you are. And that is the nature of the loving kindness. And equanimity also. Whether you are good or bad, it is your own karma. It's gone in Kamma Saccā, Saccā, Kamma Saccā. Everyone has their own karma and result, so we don't need to interfere. So we keep, it is not indifferent, but equanimity. To have an impartial and neutral way. You see, it's very difficult because we often run between the two extreme, like and dislike, and this one is in the middle. We are free from like or dislike. We see everyone equal in the law of karma.
So just now, Venerable mentioned about, for example, like choosing a teacher. So I think that there will always be an element of attachment because we have options, right? Because we have the choice to choose the teacher that we want to follow. I don't know. I think it's very difficult to not have the attachment because for me that is like a motivation for me to continue to practice the teachings that's given by the teacher.
So you see from the beginning, because we are human beings, so attachment is very natural. But day by day, we need to recognize that is attachment. And when we recognize that is attachment, then we can think that our teacher is, we should have certain kinds of the feeling like gratitude, respect, and like mutual support. And also, we should have a wisdom. When she or he is wrong, we should not be blindly follow or obey, but we should be wise enough to recognize that our teacher is doing something wrong in our opinion. Then with the love and kindness and with wisdom, we find a proper time to ask her or him that why did you do this, and is it correct, is it wholesome? So they can explain to you. And then I think that it is not kind of attachment. It is a very good relationship, mutual help, mutual support. And the Buddha also encouraged the Kalyanamitta, good friends, because when we practice, it's not easy to practice alone. We need the Dhamma fellows. So the teachers are the very good Kalyanamitta. So we should stay within the community with teachers and friends, and we have a good feeling towards one another, but not to the scale of attachment. We should observe and recognize when attachment arises. Then we can.
That's very logical. Thank you so much for the clear explanations. Does anybody else have any question?
Wow, this is amazing. I get to ask so many questions. Wow, okay. Thank you very much for the time. My next question is also a commonly asked one. Sometimes I discuss with my friends about the different aspirations, and sometimes we wonder about the aspiration to not go for Sama Sambuddha, and we sometimes wonder why not so-called push ourselves or aim for the highest, so to speak. Why settle for something lower than Sama Sambuddha? Earlier, Venerable was talking about how the Pacceka Buddha, or how an aspirant for the Pacceka Buddha might feel like the samsara journey might be too long or too difficult, and one might sort of forego the higher aspiration to want to be liberated. Some might criticize that kind of thought or wish as a kind of selfishness. Like, why not, you know, endure the difficulty, so to speak, to aim for the highest? So I'm wondering, is there any room for fault or lack of virtue in the case of the Sāvaka Buddha and the Pacceka Buddha in terms of their aspiration or their wish? Yeah.
So as I told you before, it depends on the characteristic, the tendency. I know a monk, a very well versed in Pali Tipitaka, Viditadhamma. He is now 86 years old, and he is a very excellent student of the founder I just mentioned. He make a vow of Sammasambuddha, Venerable Vamsarakkhita. The teacher is Vamsarakkhita, and the student is Dhammarakkhita. And Venerable Dhammarakkhita, he is very well versed. He wrote a lot of books in Vietnamese and Pali, more than 30 books. And he said that I only made Sāvaka Buddha aspiration because I'm so tired of rebirth and death. So as soon as I can, I will get a nirvana. So I think that, and I don't criticize, and I don't feel any uneasy. I said, oh, it's okay. Why? Because you see that not everyone must become a doctor. Because even though doctors are very respected in the society, or presidents, everyone vows to become a president, would like to become a president, but 1 out of 100 million can become a president. So it is not unnecessary that everyone will become Sammasambuddha. Only those who are very strong, very brave, very persistent can make a vow and fulfill their vow. Sometimes in the middle, they say, oh, so difficult, so now I give in. It's okay. So I think that, in my opinion, Sāvaka Buddha, Pacceka Buddha, or Sammasambuddha is fine. It depends on your own nature, your own liking. So for me, I think that Sāvaka Buddha is okay. That's fine.
Yes, that's very helpful. Thank you for sharing. My follow-up question is a more practical one. So in my own practice, right, to be honest, my own practice, I don't really think much about any of the 3 aspirations, to be honest. I just aim to progress as much as I can. There was once a friend asked me, you seem to like to read a lot and find out a lot. So are you aspiring to become a Sammasambuddha? What is your aspiration? I said, I'll take anyone. I said, yeah. So for me, I don't really think much about any of the aspirations. So my practical question is there a point in life or in our practice where we need to sort of sit down and sort of become more intentional and deliberate? Okay, this is the path I want to take, or can we just sort of go with the flow? I'm not sure if that's the right way to describe it.
I think that that one you come at the right time. When our practice is strong enough, our faith is strong enough, our understanding about the samsara, so about the suffering, and also your usually the Sammasambuddha, he has a very great love to other living beings. Because of that great love, then he makes aspiration. Maybe I have very small love, so I don't think of becoming a Sammasambuddha. So, I think that you shouldn't, why I should, I shouldn't. I think that it comes at the right time, when your love and your parami or something like that is enough, and then it comes and it arises in your mind that I should make a vow. I think that is the way.
That's helpful. Thank you, Ariya.
Okay, so we will take one last question. Does anybody have? Okay, if not, then please let me have the privilege Okay, so I know that Venerable Lieu Phap is the Abbess of Sunnata Bhikkhuni Arama, right? And there are about 50. That's very impressive. 50 nuns, yeah. Bhikkhunis, Samanaris, and Anagarikas as well. So my question is, how do you maintain harmony and loving kindness in such a large community?
So you see that we say that the temple is a small society. So people come from all walks of life and different characters, different background. So we have to understand one another. We often have meetings. So we let everyone live naturally, and we need to cooperate. We divide into turns. One group of 3. So one group of 3 will cook for 3 days. At first, 7 days, one shift. But they said that 7 days cooking for 50 people is too tiring. So they asked us to shorten, become 3 days cooking, and then after that 3 days working, cleaning inside, and then cleaning outside, and then watering, etc. So why working together? There may be some differences and then some conflicts. So they must, I told them, when conflicts arise, they should sit down and solve among themselves. And if among themselves they cannot solve, then they come to me. Or if they don't want to come to them, and if I solve but they don't agree, then we will bring the issue to the meeting. We have the meeting on the Uposatha day. After the Uposatha, the Patimokkha chanting, we have the meeting. So we will bring on the issue to discuss, and each one will say about their thinking and their behavior, and then the community will decide what to do. So there are always conflicts, and there are always solutions. And after conflict, there will be harmony, and after harmony again, conflict. But it's okay. When there is conflict, we solve the problem, and then another problem will come. That is life, because when we are still human, we are not Arahant yet. Even the lower saint also have problem of craving and hatred. So we don't expect the perfect life without any conflicts. We accept conflicts and we solve the conflict together. That is the way we live in the community.
Thank you. That sounds very democratic. Do any of you know who established democracy? First established democracy in the world? The Buddha. Yes, that's right. Okay. So I would like to, on behalf of everybody, I would like to express our deep gratitude to Venerable Lieu Phap Mahatheri for the extremely insightful, very informative, and profoundly beneficial Dhamma sharing tonight. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We would now like to invite Venerable Lieu Phap for blessings and sharing of merits.
So please, on the bhikkhunis and on everyone, together we recite sharing merit to the devas and all the living beings. Akasata Bummaka Devanaga Mahitika Punyam Tam Anumoditva Shirang Rakantu Buddha Sasanam Akasata Bummaka Devanaga Mahitika Punyam Tam Anumoditva Chirang Thank you.